Okay, thank you. This is the Blight Review Board. We're returning from executive session at 5:54 p.m. In that executive session, we have authorized a motion to be made that would move forward notice on land record.
This is concerning file 18-004.
Yeah, file 18-004, moving forward on motion forward on notice land record, notice of land record, correct?
Would be two quick things.
What's the exact
In the
language for
executive
that?
session, you didn't authorize anything to discuss
Discuss.
the possibility of issuing a citation.
Okay.
Not to put words in your mouth, but I believe what you were intending to have us do is have the board, your board,
Correct.
approve the issuance of a citation.
Right.
And then have that followed by the lien being, if it's not complied with, having that file a lien on the land records. But at this point in time, you're not authorizing any foreclosure of that lien.
Okay. All right.
So I'll make that motion
Okay.
that we proceed with the citation and service on the owner and whatever appropriate steps follow that, short of foreclosure, which we should address some other time.
I think that's fine.
Second.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. It's unanimous. Okay. We're going to move forward to your report, Bob.
Okay. So if we go to the handouts there, we'll start with case 17-011. As Ally was referring to, well, just to let you know, the first warning letter that was sent in was sent certified in regular mail and was returned.
I'm sorry, which file? I should make a note here.
That's right, 17-011.
Thank you.
Okay. The first warning letter was returned unopened. The second one was mailed out. 2-4, I guess.
This is this week.
Second. This is the 4th. 17. Yeah, on the 4th. Yeah, thank you. I'm sorry. In the interim yesterday, Ally and I went to his property and he answered the door and we had a conversation with him. And we did get some concession, I guess, with him, where he said he agreed that he was going to clean up his front yard, not immediately, but he said in the spring or as the spring comes. But he did recognize.
Thank you, Mike.
He did recognize the issue. He didn't agree with it. Obviously, he said it was an invasion of his property and his privacy. But that's all. I mean, he was pleasant, and he was very clear. He was clear-minded. And I took that as okay. That's the first step, and we'll get him to do that. I don't know whether or not you want to, and I'm going to put it to you, the warning notices were returned. I don't anticipate this. He does know because I did send them regular mail, so he did acknowledge that he had gotten notice from us, and he acknowledged it in person. So I'll leave it up to you as to how you think the board might want to approach this, whether to actually at some point issue an official violation notice or put it on hold till a later date. But you can see the photos that are attached to this. Again, this is just the things that are in the front yard. Just 3 sample photos.
So we clean it up in the spring. We don't have a date, right?
No date. No, he just said in the springtime, spring cleaning in the springtime.
So would it be before April when the weather warms?
Probably not. No.
Let's call it, for lack of a better guess, tax day. Is the potential beginning of cleanup season.
Yeah.
We had in previous years, I guess 2018, I think it was, the town provided a dumpster for him.
Yep.
so he mentioned something about the dumpster, and then I actually said we can request possibly through Kate Bush and through Public Works, maybe that they could go by and do a pickup if he brought all the stuff to the curb, which they've done before for another case, and
He
he
seems
was open
pretty
to
positive
that.
about that too.
Yeah, the stuff in the front yard.
Right.
That was the main focus.
Yeah, well, I don't know how the dumpster would work, but, you know, in a situation like this where we're, you know, working with someone that seems apparently, you know, cooperative to some degree, right? The cost of a dumpster is very little for the town, and, you know, using a carting service to drop a dumpster there for a couple of weeks would be just a few $100. It wouldn't be a lot of money. It might be well worth our money to show good faith.
We can do
But,
that.
my initial inclination in this particular case, since he was cooperative, is rather than issuing any further official notice at this point, let's pick a date by which we either see progress or Bob will visit him again to remind him of the conversation, and at a bare minimum in that meeting get a promised date by which he will begin or complete the work, whichever you can manage in the conversation.
Yeah, I think we have to have a time certain for the start of the process.
There's gonna have to, my guess is in this case, you're gonna have to go see him again to remind him to get the initiation, but in that visit you can say, hey, we were here in February, you said you would do it in spring, all right? It's spring. We need you to give us a hard date. If you want, tell us when you'd like the dumpster delivered, and we're prepared to have it for 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think that's important, using the dumpster as, okay, we're ready to go. You said you were gonna do this. We've done the work to make sure the dumpster's available. When are you willing to receive it? And then go from there.
I'd be happy
Is
to
it a
email him.
reminder too?
And I'd be happy to email him and follow up, because I've communicated with him via email before, and follow up with him and just say, we spoke about getting a dumpster, give me, I mean, I don't know if he'll respond, but at least put it out there now. We don't have to wait till April.
Is he the one that he wouldn't let Bobby and you in?
We have not been inside the house.
No,
When
he
you
came
go-
out, closed the door.
When you guys have
anyway.
talked with Ed Gentile about this situation,
Not about this particular one, but other ones.
other ones, are we allowed to, you know, make an offer to him and say, hey, you know, we can have a dumpster delivered, and if you will let us, we can ask a couple of guys from the crew to come over and carry things to the dumpster at your instruction, so that you don't have to physically lift them. Because if he's older, right, some of the stuff that's in the front yard is going to be relatively difficult, and you're asking him to lift them shoulder high for an older gentleman. It's not the easiest thing in the world.
Well, here's the thing. So I believe, my understanding is that the Public Works staff are not allowed to go onto his property. So what they've done in the past is he'd have to put everything up curbside,
Yeah.
and then they have to pick it up. He's actually a pretty agile guy, and I think he, in the past, I'm not assuming, but he... What?
No, I agree with you.
Yeah,
He's
so
not-
he's not opposed to doing manual, like
No.
to doing the work. And last time he filled the dumpster, we could see it filled,
Yeah.
and that was about a year and a half. And the dumpster actually is through, I think we did it through city carding. So it's through Human Services, we have in our Blight money that we're able to
Right.
pay for that. So I'm happy to arrange it like we did last time. It's usually a month at a time that we rent it. Last time I think he asked for an extension. And if that engages him, I think that would be a good start.
So I'd like to suggest that visit happen at the end of March.
Okay.
You know.
That's
Yeah.
officially spring.
Aim for
Yeah,
an April
exactly.
Fool's visit and set an April 15th, you know, date for when we'd like it to start, and an April 30th date when we'd like it to be done or something. So just pick some dates like that, right? I mean, if he says, oh, I need 3 weeks or whatever, do that. But you know, let's try to set a target for him.
And Ally, you could follow up reasonably soon, just with an email,
tomorrow.
just reminding him, you know, that these services are available, we're looking into it, but we just want to make sure he knows that the town would like to work with him to get through this process.
Does he see me on that?
Of course,
That's all right.
yeah.
Okay.
All right, moving on. Next case, number 17-019. Now, this case has been lingering on the cusps for a while. I sent I want to call it a soft warning letter to her, to the owner, March 14th. This has been going on, and then we had a snowfall that kind of covered everything for a short period of time, but everything has been exposed. You can see by the papers. I think the one violation that put it into the blight category was now the vehicle that's in the front of the house is
Not registered.
not registered anymore, and it hasn't moved. It's getting a flat tire at this point also. I guess maybe a sticking point, and we don't even have to get into this, is maybe that's not on her property, because as you know, there's setbacks that the town has on the roads, and that the car might be considered on town property, but,
Then let's remove it.
well, that's another option. But there was a soft warning, been there a couple of times, there's been no progress. And I know that I don't have to, but I'm just letting you know that I'm probably gonna go issue a warning letter to her and this as well. But I believe also, as Ally would say, I believe that she does have potentially some other issues that might be stopping her from doing this. I don't know, and that's something we might try to pay her a visit as well to see if there's something we could do. But we're at that point where I think a warning letter would be appropriate at this point, just to get her attention, and then we'll talk to her.
And we had also provided a dumpster for her in the past. I believe, yeah, am I getting the properties confused? I believe so. And I reached out to her after you sent your soft warning letter, and I did not hear back, but.
Okay.
I note that the pictures are about a month old, and I'm not sure they do justice to the
No, they
current
don't.
condition.
Yes, yeah, exactly. I didn't even cite anything from the back of the house, which is really the trouble issue. However, you can't really see it from, you could see snippets of it from the street, but was it Cliffside Road or whatever?
Christ.
Goes down, yeah, goes down, and the property is up high, so you really can't see anything. So if we can just get the front cleaned up, maybe, again, as with Camp Abbey, the previous one, yes.
Leroy?
We might be, as long as we can get a conversation going, I think we could work with that. Okay. Next, case number 18004. I know we worked on this. The pictures I showed were taken from Main Street. Now that there are no leaves, there's a clear, aside from other than, Mike, if you want to see other photos of what the property looks like, we can get them to you as well. These were just taken yesterday, actually, some of the things that are on there. What I wanted to discuss or propose or just make mention, because I was looking through the ordinance and the state statute, suggesting that you consider, there's a consideration to contact the state police with the enforcement of the state statute 7-148. Which has to do with the, willfully ignoring the blight ordinance and purposely not doing anything to correct the issues. Yeah, it is a step, but if I read the state ordinance, the state statute, that it's all done by the police. If we just refer it to them, then the case is up to them. They can either pursue it, not pursue it, send somebody down for an inspection. It doesn't circumvent our fines or our recovery. It's a totally separate action against the property.
But it can trigger fines by the state as opposed to just the town.
It can what? I'm sorry.
It can trigger fines by the state.
Yes, yeah.
Which are
Different, all totally separate from what the town does. Yes,
This is
it does not-
18004, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. But like I said, it is just an option I wanted to bring forward, just to let you know that it is there. And if at any point you feel you'd like to do that, I would be happy to liaise with the state police if need be. But it doesn't have to be done at any point, just,
I think that's a good tool to keep in our quiver, but I'm not sure I would do it at this point.
Right.
We already know there's gonna be a fair amount of hostility when he gets served with the other notice.
Yeah.
And, if you provide even more ammo to a situation like this, we're more likely to get a significantly volatile response, which may not be to our best interest at this point. We would still have that option later if it becomes difficult, argumentative, more combative, then whatever, we can ask the police to engage at that point.
I just wanted to bring,
Yeah.
to expose us to that. Okay. Next one, case 18-002.
This is Glenwood Road.
Yes, correct. Now, the property is not overgrown. There is some vines and things on the house, but nothing bad. But I think the majority of what you see, there are other parts of the structure as well that they don't show very well. Again, not a large, not a big exterior problem. However, if you look at the picture of the north side of the house, you can see where the siding is rotting, the windowsill is rotting out. There's also some rot on another picture I didn't say, down at the bottom. This is an area in the front of the house, so one of the windows. There's also a lot, there's more photos that show the house in the same condition.
Is this in foreclosure?
I don't believe so. No, I don't believe so. I haven't seen anything. Well, you would know.
I'll have to look.
It's on the
Yeah.
judicial website.
Oh, okay.
Did the certified mail?
He did get a notice. He was received, and we got accepted. It was accepted back in December.
Okay.
Haven't received any contact back from him whatsoever. I've driven by a number of times, 3-4 times, to see if anything has been done to it on the house, and nothing at all. I understand with the ordinance that, unlike some of the others, paint in and of itself in a house is not listed as one of the items that is citable. It says missing or loose shingles, sideboards, things like that. And it's barely recognizes as that. So I just was looking to bring this to you for guidance, or just to let you know what this property is about.
Well, again, this is one of those that one is not enough.
Yes,
The
yeah.
criteria, we've got to,
Mhm.
you've got to comply or
Yeah.
not comply with multiple pieces of the code. So I don't know how you go beyond that.
Yes, and I agree with you. There have been times when there have been other issues with the property where it was overgrown, then it was cut back, and then there was piles of stuff left all over the place for extended time, and then it was cleaned up. So it does fluctuate. So I'll take that as keeping this on a watch list, and I'll continue.
What kind of things have neighbors complained about or brought up? Any contact we've had with them?
There is let's see, there was a complaint. I don't have the complete file with me, however.
There's a house on the market near there and people.
There's one right next door that
yeah.
has just been
Yeah.
been renovated.
It's not helping it
No, it's,
at all.
yeah, it's a nice house.
I'm sure.
And they're
Beautiful house.
in
It's
they're in
expanded.
pre-foreclosure from 2012, did you just say?
Oh, this house is?
Yeah,
Oh,
From 2012?
12.
That's
Well,
a
it
long
can go
pre-
on for years, though.
Years.
Well, you would know
Years.
better
Well,
than I would.
So we're 8 years in?
Well, but it
To a
could be put on hold, right? Basically, if they meet some,
Absolutely.
yeah,
They made
Plausible
some good
excuse.
faith payments, and then.
and then it can come
they-
resurface.
It depends who the lender is.
Some agreement
Yeah.
with the lender or
Most
whatever.
don't really want to own this
And if they have children,
This one
then
looks
they
like
can
this.
hold it up for.
yeah, I
There's no
believe that
minors.
they believe that they do have some.
Oh,
damage.
perhaps.
That
next
could be
generation.
why.
Probably.
So we'll keep this on the, I'll keep this on the watch list then.
Yeah.
That's cool. Okay.
Oh, 5?
Yes, 18-005. Which one is this one? Oh, okay. This is another long-term issue. I guess it had been tried to be addressed in the past, and the file just kind of ends. So it ends back in 2018, but nothing has changed here. The house like this, that looks like this from West Ave, from the street, and it's just, no. I can't understand if this person is occupying the house. These other two pictures were taken from the rear, of the rear of the property, from Stony Brook Road South, I think it runs off to the back of the property. And there are others. Obviously, there's these are boat trailers, car trailers, and there are some boats and stuff that are, you can take a look at the pictures, that are just abandoned in the back, and they're just being grown over.
And we have sent warning letters?
Yes, this case actually goes back to, I've seen there's letters in the file back to 2017, and he's responded back. They actually had sent a notice to him at an address in Yonkers, New York. And he wrote back saying, I don't live here. Well, how did he get the mail in Yonkers? I don't live here, send everything to my address, which is here, is where I pay my taxes and everything, but I cannot see that anyone's living in the house. There's no vehicles, there's no
There's a
path
big
of
tree.
access.
Yeah,
Do we know
there's a
if there are
tree.
utilities connected to the house? Because that's not what we can find out.
Can we figure out if there's any utilities current activity, and are the taxes current on the property?
As of 2017, there was a notice that the owner had been in the tax office to pay his taxes, but that's in the file.
Well,
I
we need
don't know anymore.
we need to
Yeah.
backtrack that and find out, one, the tax status, two, is he actually living there? And I guess the utilities is the best way to figure that out.
Right.
It's not- yeah.
He's hard
But we
living-
need to know that,
hard living without electricity
Yeah.
or water.
Yeah.
we need to know if it's occupied.
Right.
And again, if you look at it from the assessment perspective, does it, in your opinion, does it constitute blight?
Oh, yes.
Okay, well, then,
With the boats in the trailer and
Yeah.
stuff in the back, yeah, from the front, it's very difficult to tell. Actually, a buddy of mine at the gym asked me about this property
Yes.
last week, and so I kind of walked by it just to take a look.
Yeah.
But from the front, you can't really see it. There's so much trees and
Right.
brush and things like that.
It-
I mean,
yeah.
honestly, I didn't know the house was even there.
In the
until my
spring,
buddy
I
mentioned
drove.
it.
Yeah, when I first started, I drove by because it was on the list. I was trying to get a feel. And I'm driving by and I'm like saying, "Where's this? I don't see it," because you really can't see it because everything in front of it is bloomed and you can't see it.
Right.
But only, since January, it's become very, now you can see it.
Apparent, yeah.
Even this picture, even as a photo, doesn't do it justice. You can see it much clearer than you can see it in this photo. And we can go back, back in 2017, he had written back to Kate Bush that I've lived here for 70 years, I've never done anything with the trees. And I don't see, there isn't any trailer or boats or vehicles on the property. Well, I mean, yeah, they're there. They did acknowledge that there was a garage at some point that had collapsed in the back.
well, why don't you prepare citation notice to start, that, do the notification of blight notice and cite the criteria, and let's get it started.
Okay. Well, he did get he was sent a warning letter. Nothing has been received yet.
Right.
So if I wait give it a couple more weeks to return, and then just go right to a violation notice?
If you've defined it as blight,
Yes,
yes.
Okay.
There's just, Otherwise, it's just gonna slip right back to where it
Well,
was.
and honestly, he says he's never done anything. I don't think he's, it's just one of those cases where I don't think he's gonna do anything.
Did you say 70 years?
He said 70 years, yeah. What I could do is I'll
He's a
scan his
senior.
file, and if you want, I could forward it to you so you
But
can see.
really, yeah, but
Yeah.
really follow up on
Yes.
the utilities and the taxes. Where is he standing on taxes
Yeah.
today?
Mhm.
My guess is I bet you he's in arrears now.
I have to figure out how it can, where can I go to
Kathy,
figure out?
tax
the-
collector.
No, for tax,
Oh.
but for utilities.
I don't know if that's,
If
I
I
don't
could-
know
if I
if
could
that's
That may
public
not be a matter of
information.
public record, I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. I'll see what I could work out. That's fine. Okay, that's good.
Well, Public Works,
Is he
they
on
have
sewer?
water,
Is he
Yeah.
on sewer?
Public Works, you can check for sewer.
Yeah,
sewer
Check
and
Public
water.
Works.
Okay,
and
And-
water, right.
Yeah, and that location would be on town sewer.
Yeah.
I don't know if it would be on septic.
He's in his 70s.
is, yeah, that's, I think it said.
And somebody said he had other properties in town. I can
Oh, we
ask
have to
him
look,
a
yeah,
little bit.
just run a search in the
Yeah,
tax
yeah.
records.
Probably.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be good.
Item.
on our list.
That's good. Okay, the last two, very quickly, I know, George, you'd asked about that property that's listed on the corner of Post Road.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
I've seen
yeah,
action
they have
there
they have a permit, and they've been working on the
Yeah,
property.
that's
There's a
great.
footing inspection, but just to let you know that.
Out of curiosity, it looks like part of the back of the original structure has been removed.
Yes,
So is the anticipation that they will demolish the original structure once they get the new house built, and build a new one there?
Yeah, the
Or
only-
We don't know.
No, they're gonna keep two there.
I know, but the choices are build a new one, knock down the first one, build another new one, or build a new one, rent out the first one.
That's what I thought was gonna happen. That's what I heard.
the building department said that the permit was for,
A single,
no, actually, she said that the permit was for an addition. So I don't.
if they connect from where the backhoes have been digging to that initial
Oh.
house, that thing is gonna be a commercial building. It'll be that big. It'll be 12,000 square feet. Wow.
But in any event, for as far as
Yeah.
Blight goes, they have a
Yeah.
permit.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
It'd be a half acre,
Dave just
acre
watches
across.
You live next to it.
Oh, right next
I
door.
work- I work next to it.
It's, no, the Brookside,
Okay.
we watch it very closely. It's right in the river.
Yeah,
I mean, it's right in the river.
Yeah, and anybody
Plus
that buys that,
litigation.
anybody that buys that, I hope they fully anticipate buying flood insurance and never putting anything downstairs.
Okay, the permits are for addition,
that's what, yeah, right, that's what it said.
about $500,000 in construction costs.
Okay.
This, yeah, that's what I was,
Well,
yeah.
you know, maybe I'm.
100,000 for foundation, 350 for addition.
I stand corrected and take advantage.
13 for demo.
Yeah.
I
That's
stand
what we've
corrected.
heard, yeah, it's crazy.
Okay,
Side of the hill.
Yeah, $500,000 is, it's not just a minor.
Um,
okay.
How much so?
The last one on the list here, 18-008, just to let you know that there's been no changes. The vehicles are still there, but property's still fine. It's all right, it's vacant.
Their only violation is the,
Yeah, exactly. And I'm
Vehicles.
just, I'm just kind of following.
Yeah, and if I remember correctly, you said the vehicles are an issue of they're trying to ascertain title.
Yeah, exactly. There's two, there's a Mercedes, maybe a BMW, and a van that's parked underneath it.
That's not on this list.
Oh, yeah.
don't see it on
It's not on, it's not a green, it's on, it's 18-008.
It's on the list, it's just-
Oh, I see it now.
Yeah,
Sorry, I missed it.
exactly. And another option, or another thought that came to me, this is about, and it's not on here, but it is the first one, 16-001. I know that's been number one for a long time. And the attorneys had talked about one of the options for the town would be to file the whatever paperwork needs to be worked, and then actually have the town go on the property, which we chose not to do for 18-004,
right,
but to go on the property and remove the blighted
right.
issues, which there are two areas. Just to consider that might be an option, especially if we're not getting any kind of response from from ownership or family about the property, just have the town go in and take the stuff that's causing the issue.
Well, can you write up what we would have to do in order? We obviously will have to, there would have to be some kind of formal notification to them.
Yes,
The city
and-
was going to take that, because it'd be similar to like we were talking about on the other one.
Yes,
It's got to be
exactly.
very specific.
If, and the way they had spoken about how marshal services work,
Yeah.
that if they can't actually hand a citation to someone, that they can put it on the door or on the house, and would serve as officially serving the owner of notice.
So this house this property is vacant
Yes,
currently?
yes.
So we don't have the same concerns about safety for the.
Correct, and that's why I mentioned that this is a potential. Also, on a plus, it isn't anything that's inside. It's not going to have to be provided with, air conditioned or air controlled environment in order to keep it safe. The town needs to take it and put it somewhere. They could put it at the town yard in an area until such time that it would expire, and then it could just be, maybe it could be auctioned off. Some of the lobster traps could probably be auctioned off. But anyway, it's an option. That's all. I just wanted to bring that.
Spring clean.
Okay, and I'll do that. I'll write that up and
Yeah,
see where we go.
Yeah, because again, those, at some point in time, we have to get it definitively into a formal process.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what's coming up. I wanted to bring all that out.
Yeah.
If we want to go through with it, then maybe we need to.
I like the option of having the town take care of it.
Yeah.
I mean, we're
Yeah.
not making progress any other way, and there's no risk to safety of the employees. I don't see why we could. It won't take them, it won't take, we send the crew over there, it will take them no time whatsoever.
No, not at all.
And again, that's the one where we have communicated with the mortgage company, but
Right.
they went in and tried to clean up the property and were threatened with a lawsuit by the owner for
Yeah,
trespassing.
that's what
Right.
I remember, so that's
Yes.
what
This is
my
what-
feeling
but
is that.
this would be the town doing it.
Yes,
Ah,
and
okay.
we would do it only with an approved official service
Service.
by the marshal, so they really can't say anything.
Similar to an eviction.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah.
Okay, any other items, Bob? Thank you,
That's it.
appreciate it. Thanks, everybody, for tonight, a bit longer than usual, but I think we got done some stuff we really needed to get done.
Yep.
And welcome.
Yeah.
We need all the help we can get. Move to adjourn?
Yes.
Second?